Hi, welcome to MG Decode Videos. We are starting with the series on AWS storage, and within that series we'll first start with AWS block storage offerings. I have already created a video in terms of how a block storage works, what is an object storage, what is a file storage, and how it works. If you have not seen the video, please check it out in the playlist. It's a very informative video and I'm sure you'll like it. And in block storage, before we can go ahead and talk about it, we'll stick on to the very basic concept, which is latency, IOPS, and throughput. And these concepts needs to be very clear because I have seen there are a lot of confusion emerging in terms of billing because of latency, IOPS, or throughput issues. So let's just start with latency first. So latency is nothing else but the amount of time between making a request to the storage system and getting a response back. So here you will see that I have a EC2 which is hosted in an availability zone within a region. And whenever this EC2 is connected with an EBS, which is Elastic Block Storage, and the request made to the storage system and the response back, the time taken in getting the response back is what latency is. It is also referred to as delay. So as you can see that the faster the response are coming back, the lower the latency is. The more delay, could be any kind of a delay that might would add up to the latency number, the delays or the latency here. So if you'll see that if it's a local storage quite close to our compute and it's giving a response back very quickly, it will yield to the low latency. But if it's a network storage, there could be network delays or external network delays adding up to the latency. And if we talk about AWS block storage, it can range from sub 1 millisecond to low 2-digit millisecond response rates in AWS. Okay, there is another concept called queue length. Queue length is nothing much, but if there is any issue that happens, or maybe network delay or any congestion, anything that delays the response back will adds up onto the queue length, which is the number of IO start piling up before it can give a response back to the compute. The value of queue depth determines how many IO operation an application can line up, which would also help us in deciding the kind of a storage that will work best with the application list. IOPS is input output operations per second. And here again you'll see that I have a region here and EC2 is hosted within a particular availability zone with EBS, and as we have seen that the file is there which needs to be saved on EBS, so it will be broken down into the similar sized chunks, and all the input or output operations happening onto the storage within a second per second would be the IOPS count. As simple as that. That IOPS are storage measurement of the number of IO operations per second. Here you can see read, write, delete operations within 1 second is what IOPS is. Now if we connect latency to it, low latency with higher number of IOPS, which is what gives the best performance in block storage, and SSDs are best suited for that. So any application that require high IOPS and low latency, then SSDs, which is a kind of a block storage that AWS offers, that works the best there. So that is how we choose the kind of a storage requirement that our application might have. Now moving on to throughput. Okay, so throughput is how fast your storage can be read and written. So just now we saw that IOPS measure number of read and write operations per second, and on the other hand throughput measures how fast numbers of bytes are read and written per second. So throughput is nothing else but to measure the performance related to reading large sequential data file. That could be maybe a large video file. So the how fast that large video file from starting till end, how fast it can be read and written onto the drive is what throughput is, and it is measured in megabytes per second. So that's all. Hope you like the video. Please don't forget to hit subscribe, share and like the video.